At the edge of Tijuana and San Diego, where the waves hit the international border fence, there's a white marble boundary monument marked 258. It's an important marker because it's not only the dividing line between the U.S. and Mexico, but it also tells the story of how California got its shape. To see the monument, you can either grab your passport and make a day trip to the lively town of Tijuana, Mexico, where you can eat tacos and enjoy music. Or you can hike down to San Diego County's Borderfield Park and take a look at it from a distance in solitude.
This place is a really beautiful place to go at Borderfield State Park because you can see, do you see anybody? Where do you see that in Southern California?
Anne-Marie Tipton is a state park interpreter, and she knows the history of this place long before the border walls went up.
This part of the border was the first place the U.S. and Mexico decided to put the border. And it was a binational effort that happened in the mid-19th century.
The binational effort that Anne-Marie is talking about is a result of the Mexican-American War, a multi-year fight over land and borders. After Mexico lost the war in 1848, they were forced to sign the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, requiring them to sell nearly half its territory and work with the U.S. to survey and create borders, starting right here in San Diego County's Borderfield Park.
This place was so popular, we had about 100,000 people here coming up here every year, and they would take a little piece as a souvenir.
Anne-Marie says over time, the monument became sort of a tourist attraction and had to be replaced because too many people were chipping off pieces of the monument as a memento.
So the fact that they picked it here was very significant, and it made a difference from now on.
Borderfield Park was not only just a tourist attraction, but a defensive military outpost, active in numerous U.S. conflicts. From here, troops could see potential enemy attacks coming over the border and the sea.
The military has been in this area for a really long time. Through the Mexican Revolution, through the early 1900s.
Today, there's a fine divide between the U.S. and Mexico, but it wasn't always like that. Before the border wall, a barbed wire fence was all that separated Tijuana from San Diego County. But in 1971, Republican First Lady Pat Nixon had a portion of the fence cut down so she could dedicate the grand opening of Borderfield State Park and Friendship Park, a neutral area right next to the International Boundary Monument marker that allowed people to touch the monument and meet freely with one another for more than 30 years.
The only way to touch that monument now is to go to Mexico, which is too bad because it's an international monument.
Unfortunately, the U.S. government has progressively limited access to Friendship Park, first by adding a mesh fencing, then building a secondary wall with a small viewing area, and finally, in 2020, they completely closed Friendship Park. Though the Tijuana side of the border is much livelier, there is a certain beauty about Borderfield Park. It's a state park and a national estuary research reserve with miles of trails leading to open beaches.
People could ride their horses here. It's the only place in the whole county you could ride a horse on the beach. It's just amazing.
From the California-Mexico boundary marker, I'm John Bartell. Hope to see you on the Backroads.